Breaking news. Hey, everybody. Rex Bear Leak Project. How the heck are you? We've got a lot of news to talk about today. So I'm just going to jump right in. Everything from Stargate to a substellar flyby that shaped the orbits of giant planets here in our own solar system many years ago. And I'm actually going to do a comparison of Planet 9 because a lot of people are like, is that Planet 9 or what used to be called Planet X before Pluto was demoted? Well, probably not, but we're going to talk about it. But we're also going to get into the Stargate project. This is fascinating, this Stargate project. Remember, I made a prediction at the end of 2024. I said there's going to be breakthroughs in transportation and the medical field. And guess what? This project Stargate that's being presented as a multi-billion-dollar artificial intelligence hub that's going to come up with all these new breakthroughs, possibly in the medical industry as well as transportation. Those are two key things that they mentioned in this Stargate project. So it's a lot different than the Stargate project from the 80s when people were doing remote viewing to use the mind in order to see something that they couldn't physically touch. Really interesting. And yesterday we did or the day before yesterday, we did the podcast where there was an organization that remote viewed Mars, the coordinates where Cydonia is, and they just nailed it. So it's going to be fascinating to see the near future because this is all happening so fast. We're going to look at some of the executive orders. We're going to look at some of the latest technology that China's pumping out right now with drones, sixth generation drone technologies, which, by the way, I looked up sixth generation drone technologies, fifth and sixth generation, actually stealth and drone. And one of the requirements to be a sixth generation is having a material that allows you to change shapes. So think of Transformers. We've been talking about Transformers lately. Autobots, Transformers, the Decepticons, more than meets the eye. Yeah. And also, we've got a few spots left. If you want to join us on Monday, we've got a free webinar at 10 a.m. I'm going to help show people how to turn their passion into profit, just give you some basic ideas on how you could use that for your own like your own channel, whether you're doing Instagram or YouTube or all of the above. You can even get into podcasts now. So there's just a lot of really cool opportunities, and we've helped a lot of people out. So send me an email, leakproject@gmail.com, and you can also send me a text. And remember to get your Boomer Boost. Go to boomerboost.com and get the Gladiator Barley and the Boomer Boost, 20% off if you use the code REX20, and you do auto ship, and you can get an additional, I think, 10% discount on the auto ship. Take advantage of that opportunity. Okay, let's get into it, shall we? Let's just jump right in. The substellar flyby that shaped the orbits of the giant planets. You've been talking about it. We've been talking about it. And this object is between 2 and 50 times the mass of Jupiter. That's what estimates are of this object. And they predict it got about 20 astronomical units away from the sun. So, or from Earth, 20 astronomical units. Each astronomical unit is a distance to the sun, which is 93 million years. So you would take the 93 million times that by 20, and that would be your number, give or take a few miles, with the approximation of this orbit of this massive planetary body, probably a brown dwarf. I think I know which star this was, and it's larger than a brown dwarf. But anyway, so very interesting. And then I've had people say, well, was this like Planet X? Was it Planet 9? It doesn't really fit the parameters, but let's just look at what the scientists and the computer models and the astronomers are projecting based upon this data. So the formation theory suggests planets start with circular coplanar orbits. The current eccentric tilted orbits of the giant planets in our solar system need explanation, and this research suggests that this is a possibility, a massive planetary body or star actually coming in. So a single flyby within 20 astronomical units at low velocity could account for these features, like Uranus being tilted on its side. Hello. Did you know that Uranus is tilted on its side? And the massive planets of our solar system have very eccentric orbits with now they're saying it's about a 1% chance. So the odds, if you want to take the odds in Vegas, there's about a 1% chance of producing a system resembling ours, taking this data. And the offset to that is if you look at the size of the universe and how many star systems there are, 1% is actually a high percentage with the size of the universe. Anyway, all right, so that's it. Let's get to the next paper right now. Is there a chance it could happen again? Very small, but yes, there is a possibility. And then I was like, well, what are the similarities to Planet 9, Planet X? The substellar object, which is proposed in the paper, is unlikely to be similar to the hypothetical Planet 9. Here's why. The substellar object described in the paper is external to the solar system and is hypothesized to have passed through its outskirts early in its history, likely as a rogue brown dwarf or massive planet from another star system. Remember, they're projecting this as 2 to 50 times the mass of Jupiter. Planet 9, on the other hand, is theorized to be a long-term resident of the solar system, possibly a super Earth-sized planet orbiting far beyond Neptune, between 200 and 400 astronomical units. Now, the flyby object's influence would have been a transient event, distributing the orbits of the giant planets before moving away from the solar system. Planet 9, if it exists, would have a stable, permanent orbit, potentially explaining the clustering of those massive trans-Neptunian objects. And the flyby object is thought to have been a one-time close encounter with the solar system passing within 20 astronomical units. Planet 9 is hypothesized to be a distant, highly elliptical orbit with a semi-major axis of 400 to 800 astronomical units. So, both concepts involve massive objects influencing the dynamics of the solar system. They differ fundamentally in origin, behavior, and current status. The substellar flyby would have been a transient interloper, whereas Planet 9 would be a permanent member of our solar system. There you go. Interesting, very interesting. Now, I'm not convinced about Planet 9 or Planet X because they've been saying basically the same thing for 60 years now, publicly, 50 years at least. And it's always like, they're going to find it tomorrow. We just need more funding. We need a bigger telescope. We need to put this telescope in space, and we need to have it with more capabilities to pick up infrared because it's going to be something that we won't be able to see with the naked eye. I mean, I've heard so many stories. And the stories get a lot wilder than that. But one thing that I do know is if you read the front page news in the 1980s when they said they found Planet X, and if you read the description of Planet X, and then if you read what happened shortly after that, where they said, oh, no, we just misinterpreted it. It was something else. And then you look at the data of Planet 9, where they keep saying they're going to find it. They're going to find it, but they need more money. It's starting to get to the point where I think people are losing interest, and they're either going to have to find it or they're going to have to find some other funding or something else. You know what I mean? So anyway, swamp gas from Uranus? Possibly. Now, have you heard of LUCA? LUCA is really interesting. So LUCA was likely a simple single-celled organism, possibly resembling modern prokaryotes, bacteria, and it was not the first life form, but rather the last ancestor common to all modern life. And its used DNA is genetic material and coded information for proteins and RNA it likely had. So they're suggesting that LUCA, the last universal common ancestor, this is the latest in science, is the theoretical most recent common ancestor of all current life on Earth. It is not a single organism, but rather a population of organisms that existed about 3.5 to 4 billion years ago. Shortly after the Earth's formation, LUCA is central to understanding the origins of life and the tree of life. Here's what scientists know. Yada, yada, wada, wada. So interesting. LUCA is interesting. Now, there's also this technology that is in laboratories right now called mirror life. And there are these warnings coming out by scientists that are saying, hey, we shouldn't mess with this stuff because this mirror life, allegedly, if it gets out of a lab, all known DNA and the structure of DNA can't understand it because it uses a little bit different coding, and it could essentially destroy all life on Earth. So, but there are benefits, they say. There are benefits. So, they need funding for that too. It's kind of like the opposite, mirror life. That sounds kind of spooky. I'll say no to the mirror life. No, thank you. All right, now let's get into the Stargate stuff. Let's get into the drones. Let's get into the 5G, the 6G. China recently announced that they've got this 6G technology that can shoot laser beams down from satellites, and you can download 100 gigabytes a second. 6G technology. Now, there were studies done previous to that, and I I think we need to find this again, where they were doing experiments with 6G technology, and I think it was mice. Their brain cells were getting larger when involved in these experiments with 6G. Don't quote me on that. Pull that article up real quick while we're talking here. Do a search on that, and then come back and leave the link in the video description box, and we'll get into that, because I think that's very interesting. So 6G technology, if the sixth generation of communications technology is actually enlarging brain cells, I mean, I think we need to do more study before we come out with that on a grand scale. I'm just saying. But anyway, so we're going to get into the Stargate project. We're going to talk about the money behind the Stargate project, the people behind the Stargate project, and what it's most likely going to lead to. There is a reason this project Stargate is bringing tech tycoons, CEOs of tech companies around the world into the same room. I mean, this is going to change things so fast. And I'm wondering if it might even, it's right on par with Ray Kurzweil's theory of singularity and that 2030, 2035 timeframe. Very interesting timing. So China has developed a pioneering submarine launched drone named FEIYI, capable of both underwater and aerial operations. This advancement is considered a potential new threat to U.S. military operations, South China Morning Post. What's interesting about this, oh yeah, and did you know, by the way, President Trump just released the JFK, RFK, MLK files. Very, very interesting. So yeah, it's like no big deal now. People have been waiting 100 years. Seems like, not literally 100 years, but seems like 100 years, have been waiting decades for this information to be released. And now it's out, and it's like, oh yeah, by the way, we're going to release that too. But we're building a Stargate, and we're going to travel the stars, and we're going to put a flag on Mars, and we're going to build Autobots that are going to be fighting the Decepticons. And we've got 6th generation stealth technology. We're working on the 7th generation, but we're not going to release that yet. So recent reports indicate that China has developed a pioneering submarine-launched drone named FEIYI. And this is capable of both underwater and aerial operations. What does that sound like? That kind of reminds me of, I'm not saying it is, but it reminds me of these drones that were launched out of the ocean on the East Coast. Interesting. Because we didn't really get a description of what they look like. We were just told by the Coast Guard that they saw 60 of them approximately shoot out of the ocean, and about a dozen of them tracked this Coast Guard vessel, almost 50 feet, this massive Coast Guard. Well, 50 feet, that's a small boat. I'm sorry. But the drones themselves, they don't really give us a description on the drones that I've been able to find yet. Just assumptions. Now, the drones that are reported still to this day and are being seen still in New Jersey are being reported to look like airplanes. But then I've also heard reports that they change shape. And they can change, like the sound, it has a very peculiar sound, like a miniature jet engine. I guess you would see in a remote control or, I don't know, drone or something like that. But yeah, I didn't hear anything that time that I saw that, what was it called? It's like a missile that basically caught up to me on the road, on the freeway in Texas. And Kristen and I are looking at this thing, and Kristen's like thinking it's a jet for some rich person, like a single person jet. And I'm like, no, it's not a jet. You couldn't hear it. The thing basically is flying next to us for a second, then it goes in front of us and it turns left and it goes and just blasts off. We're on the freeway going, the speed limit's like 80 or 85. We're going the speed limit at least. and this thing's just cruising with us. Then it gets in front of us, it's gone. And I looked into what that is, and there's actually a specific name for that type of missile where it's actually launched from another craft. But these new, you couldn't hear that. That's why I brought that one up, because you couldn't hear that one. These drones that people are reporting that they can hear, they describe as they'll turn off the lights, They've been described as being able to change the clocks and stop the clock and mess with electronics and interfere with electronics. They will turn the lights back on. They'll change patterns of lights and they disappear. And all of these traits are traits of 6th generation drone technologies. Now, China recently released two different, a stealth jet and a stealth drone that they claim to be 6th generation. And now we're reading reports about submarines and drones that can go in and out of water that China has developed that's cutting edge. And then also remember the manifesto, the alleged manifesto that was confirmed by, I think the FBI confirmed it. But this manifesto gets sent out to multiple people and press agencies of the military officer that was involved in the Tesla truck in Vegas. And like the manifesto talked about this cutting edge Chinese drone technology and other things, which made me almost question like a conspiracy within a conspiracy. It was almost too good of a manifesto as far as being parallel to what was going on at the time with the news reports of the drones, etc. I'm looking at all the angles here and questioning the reality of the situation and what's being told and how much is true and how much isn't. But I mean, this is all pure speculation on my part after the fact, analyzing that letter. But it's interesting. The reason I'm bringing this up is it's interesting how he had talked about in the manifesto, these drones that are super highly capable, beyond cutting edge, the cutting edge, and they were using it as a show of force. Now, and I have brought up also, what if there's the all of the above scenario? You've got drones that are sniffers. You've got drones that are doing a multitude of applications and from various fields, from crop dusting to surveillance. You've got military drones, and there's a lot of different technology, and people are going to be more aware of the sky. When the news is reporting on this, people are looking at the sky and thinking everything's a drone. They'll be looking at Venus and think that it's a drone. I mean, Venus is super bright. Sometimes you got to do like a triple, quadruple take. You got to look at it again and again. Oh, it's not moving. It's Venus. Okay. Yeah. Or have some type of app. But these reports of these drones being able to disappear, coming out of the ocean, flying over reservoirs, but looking like planes, that to me doesn't make sense. If it looks like a plane, how is a plane going to shoot out of the ocean? How is it going to evade capture by going back into a reservoir? There's no way it could do that because the wings would break off. It would completely destroy the craft, unless it's a different type of craft that can actually appear to look like a plane. And so you're taking pictures of it, and these pictures are coming back, and it kind of looks like a plane. And sometimes it has different lights and different angles, and that would make more sense to me, especially when I read the report of the 5th and 6th generation stealth technologies. And this right here is describing these drones. AI can transition seamlessly between underwater and aerial environments, allowing it to perform multiple entries and exits from the water during a single mission. Could that be why we are capturing these things over reservoirs? If they want to disappear, boom, go into a reservoir, go through a network of underground tunnels and underground waterways, and then come out of another reservoir somewhere else. You could even have vehicles, if you were to do this, if they were to do this, if this is plausible, basically, is what I'm saying. You clearly don't do this. If there was a adversary or a beta test program going on to see how to avoid capture, like let's say the military had some special operations where they were just testing the waters, no pun intended, to see if they could do it because they know that other countries are doing it, other militaries are doing it. So let's, obviously we got to be at least up to par with that technology, hopefully beyond. But it sounds like all these news articles that are coming out, I mean, the CCP, China's kind of kicking our butt in technology. At least the news is making it look that way. when you're reading about these 6th generation technologies and the amount of, it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. So I would definitely, I'm definitely not going to be surprised if we see something coming out in the very near future of a 6th gen or maybe even 7th generation fighter type vehicle on our side, on the side of the U.S. military. Anyway, so you've got foldable wing design. The drone features a unique foldable wing mechanism that enhances its agility and concealment capabilities in both domains. Autonomous navigation equipped with advanced navigation systems. The flyby can autonomously navigate and return to its submarine launch platform after completing its mission. Reconnaissance and surveillance. The flyby ability to operate covertly in both air and water makes it ideal for gathering intelligence and monitoring adversary movements. Swarm attacks and scenarios such as a potential attempt to land in Taiwan. Flyby drones could be deployed in large numbers to form aerial swarms, launching surprise attacks on opposing fleets. South China Morning Post. Well, the development of the flyby underscores a significant advancement in unmanned vehicle technology, potentially challenging U.S. naval operations. The U.S. military is reportedly considering similar tactics, such as deploying submarines near adversary coastlines to release large numbers of drones for surprise attacks. However, China's progress with flyby suggests they may have already surpassed these concepts, achieving more advanced capabilities. This development highlights the evolving nature of military technology and the importance of continuous innovation in maintaining strategic advancements. Buckle up, Buttercup. So here's some of the differences between like 5th gen and 6th gen, stealth design, radar signatures. F-22 Raptors, F-35 Lightning, the Chengdu J-20, all considered 5th generation. And stealth is primarily achieved through physical shaping, angular designs, canted tails, and that deflects radar waves. So the Generation 6 has advances in adaptive stealth materials that dynamically, did I say dynamically? Alter their properties to counter multiple radar bands, including low-frequency radars. Multispectral stealth, reduced detectability not only against radar, but also infrared, acoustic, and even electromagnetic emissions. Optimized for both low observability and super cruise capabilities without compromising stealth. These things can adapt. They can change shape. Transformers, I'm telling you. Autobots. We must fight the Decepticons. Optimus Prime, you're nothing against us as the Decepticons. We will destroy you. We have 6th generation technology. You're currently at 5th generation, at least publicly. Well, we're about to release 7th generation technology upon you and your Decepticons, Megatron. Oh, really, Autobots? Really, Optimus Prime Rib? Cobra? We will get Cobra. All right, so you've got the sensor fusion and situational awareness, advanced sensor fusion, integrated data from radar. This is 5th gen. Infrared search and track, and other sensors. Pilots receive a combined battlefield picture, enabling them to focus on decision-making rather than interpreting raw data. You've got the F-35's distributed aperture system and active electronically scanned array radar. When you get into 6th generation, decision support, real-time threat analysis, autonomous mission execution. So you could actually be flying with 100 different other drones that go ahead of you, and you've got drone swarms around you that could act as decoys and recon. Some of them could be equipped with certain laser technologies. I just saw a fascinating video where a guy had, and this is, you can watch this video on YouTube, just look it up. He has a bunch of different colored balloons. And then he has a laser. And the laser pops all the balloons except for one balloon. Guess what color that balloon was? I was like, no way. Are you serious? And it's a 7-year-old video where this guy's popping balloons with a laser. And he's like, look at this one. This one won't pop. Why won't it pop? Because it reflects light. So interesting to see the color. I was like, no, really? No. But yeah, very interesting. So just look it up. Guy pops balloons with a laser. So we've got these 6th generation capabilities, autonomous drones, drones releasing drones, submarine drones releasing other drones that all can change shape and form. And they've got like different sensors that will pick up all the electronic data, everything that it scans, like it's scanning entire swaths. It's picking up all of that wireless data from people's phones, from people's computers, all the smart meter data, everything wirelessly that's not surrounded by Faraday cage. You can pick up all that data, send it back. And then, so it's sending it back to the 6th generation fighter. So now that fighter knows where everybody is. It knows where all the supplies are, all the equipment, what the equipment is, what is going to be considered most, like what is going to be the most important target first. And the AI is autonomous. It's picking it all, scanning it all. I mean, drones. This could be the year of the drones. Cognitive electronic warfare. Aircraft can adapt its systems to counter electronic threats in real time. Greater integration with battlefield networks, allowing the aircraft to act as a data hub, coordinating with other systems like drones, satellites, and ground forces. Saab. Have you heard of Saab? Well, Saab is working on a technology that allows one soldier to maneuver 100 drones, a swarm of 100 drones, one soldier. They're working on it right now. Now, the 6th gen, you're talking hypersonic. 5th gen is like subsonic or supersonic, usually around 2 to 2.5 Mach, whereas your 6th generation 5+ Mach. Fully unmanned capabilities, and you also have the option for manned capabilities as well. Ability to control drone swarms, loyal wingmen, expanded aircraft operational envelope and survivability. That's the unmanned operations. Cyber and electronic warfare, 5th gen versus 6th gen. Limited electronic warfare capabilities compared to 6th generation concepts, relies on AESA radar for jamming and countermeasures. With 6th gen, you've got built-in cyber warfare systems capable of launching offense and defense cyber attacks, enhanced electronic attack capabilities to neutralize enemy communications, radars, and other electronic systems. So the F-22, the F-35, the Su-57 Felon, and the J-20 Mighty Dragon are all 5th generation. 6th generation, notice how they don't label the most recent. I need to, sometimes you have to prompt more than once. Like you'll ask for all the data and it'll pull up like 5 things, and then you have to, well, you missed these other 5 things. Oh, sorry about that. Here you go. And when you do these searches. So now we're on Project Stargate. Project Stargate. So people are already saying this is the next Tower of Babel, the Tower of Babel 2.0. That's what I should have titled this thumbnail. Tower of Babel 2.0. The apocalypse is upon us. Apocalypse just means revealing, so it's not that scary. And well, I mean, I guess it depends on what's being revealed. That might be pretty freaking scary. But anyway, Project Stargate, this massive, monumental artificial intelligence infrastructure initiative announced January 21st, 2025. The joint venture aims to invest up to $500 billion over the next 4 years to bolster AI capabilities in the United States. So you've got OpenAI, SoftBank, Oracle, MGX. I thought Meta was involved more. And I thought I just saw something on Facebook saying that they were involved somehow with this, but I guess I read it wrong, because it's saying that Meta is going to put up to $60 billion into the development of AI stuff, but I didn't find a connection with Stargate. What is interesting though, very interesting play to get Dana White on the board of Meta. That's a very strategic move right there. And I thought that there was going to be more involvement with Meta and this Stargate project. Maybe it'll happen in the future. Maybe there's just stuff going on behind the scenes that I don't know about. But anyway, very interesting. So we've got OpenAI, SoftBank, and Oracle, and MGX. MGX is an artificial intelligence fund based in Abu Dhabi. Oracle is an American multinational computer technology corporation specializing in database software and cloud engineering systems. SoftBank is a Japanese multinational conglomerate with significant investments in technology and energy sectors. And obviously OpenAI, an AI research organization known for developing advanced AI models like GPT-4 and DALL-E. So they're building this infrastructure. They say they're going to generate over 100,000 jobs in the U.S., contributing to economic growth. There's going to be AI leadership to ensure the U.S. remains at the forefront of AI advancements, particularly in competition with nations like China. And they're going to construct state-of-the-art data centers, power facilities to support AI research and development. Now, you probably know, if you've been following the AI stuff and the need for energy, these AI companies, they need a lot of energy. AI needs input. Like, I am number 5. Number 5 is alive. I need more input. I need more input. I'm number 5. I'm alive. Remember that? Short Circuit? Classic. What a great film. I am number 5. I'm alive. Yeah, man. Like, that's a cool movie where he gets hit with lightning. He's this military bot, but he gets hit by lightning and he becomes sentient. And then he makes friends, and it's a cool show, cool movie. But anyway, they require a lot of power. So there are talks of even creating these small nuclear reactors, putting them about a mile underground to power some of these data centers. There's talks of bringing 3 Mile Island back up. How do you feel about that? 3 Mile Island. Oh, yeah. Bill Gates is investing big money in nuclear reactors and new technologies. And yeah, it's talking about it right here. So, well, first of all, we've got an immediate investment of $100 billion to commence infrastructure projects. The data center is going to be in Texas, which totally makes sense. Why do you think Elon moved to Texas? SpaceX, Texas. X during the eclipse was literally right over Texas. The X of both totality paths from what a trip. So yeah, so Texas. All my exes live in Texas. Sorry, I didn't mean to ruin that song. I used to live in Texas. I don't anymore. Down, not by the river, at high elevation now. Anyway, I'm up, actually. I'm up at high elevation, not down by the river. But Microsoft, they're going to provide cloud services. NVIDIA, supplying advanced graphics processing units for AI computers and computations. ARM is contributing expertise in semiconductor and software design. The CEO of SoftBank appointed as the chairman of the Stargate project. OpenAI will handle operational responsibilities while SoftBank will manage financial aspects. Got cotton mouth. Gonna drink some mushroom coffee. Stuff's amazing. Okay. By enhancing computational capabilities and fostering innovation, it aims to address complex challenges across various sectors, including healthcare, finance, and transportation. Oh, I got two out of three. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Of course, finance. I mean, imagine the money you can make if you could. Oh, wait, I didn't even tell you about this yet. I hope you're still here, because if you already left, you missed the best part. If you're still here, guess what? We got CIA software programs creating sims of high-level targets to predict what they're going to do next. Well, guess what? I told you about this back in 2012. I've got blog posts about it in 2012. There were programs 13 years ago where they would do the same thing. Now they've refined it quite a bit more. But now the mainstream's starting to pick up on this, and they're starting to actually give you these little tidbits of information, giving you these little gems, these little nuggets. They've got freaking sims of like Kim Jong-un. They're like, what's Kim Jong-un going to do today? Well, let's go turn on the supercomputer and watch. We don't need remote viewers anymore because we have Sims. We have Sims. So then they could take the satellite data, or they could take any insider intel data if they actually have the ability to see what he's doing with a computer or some type of like camera. So they're watching him, whatever. They've got real intel, what he's doing. And then they look at their sim and their simulation to see how close that sim is to what he's doing in real life. Think about that. And 20 years ago, they were using technology on your phone that could predict what you were going to do with a 93% accuracy rating, approximately, give or take a few percent. It was over 90%. You have your phone on you for a week, it predicts your movements with over 90% accuracy, 20-year-old technology just by having your phone. What kind of technology do you think that they have when they share with us? They have currently supercomputers in the traditional sense that are calculating quadrillions of floating points per second. And then the supercomputer Willow that just came out recently, this technology, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this in a minute, it was able to, it figured out, it solved the problem in less than 5 minutes that a supercomputer, a current supercomputer, a traditional supercomputer, takes 10 septillion years to solve, give or take a few years. 10 septillion, that's 10 to the 24th power, 10 with 24 zeros behind it, versus 5 minutes. Give or take 5 minutes. You need an oil change? All right. An oil change is going to take 45 minutes here in Southern Colorado, at least. It might take an hour, hour and a half, but we can solve the world's problems in 5 minutes or less. But your oil change is going to take an hour and a half. Takes 2 hours to deliver a pizza out here. They don't deliver pizza out here, I don't think. I'm glad, you know. Yeah, I wouldn't. Anyway, so I get all my food I farm all my food, man. It's all organic. Yeah. No, it's not. Most of it's organic. But anyway, I'm sorry. I'm digressing. Let's go back to the Stargate project. It is poised to revolutionize artificial intelligence infrastructure, developments of more advanced AI models and applications by enhancing computational capabilities and fostering innovation. It aims to address complex challenges across various sectors, including healthcare, finance, and transportation. Wait, I just said that, didn't I? However, the project has faced criticism from figures like Elon Musk, who questioned its financial viability and expressed concerns over potential environmental impacts due to the extensive infrastructure. Really? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Did he really say that? Or is that just like artificial intelligence saying he said that? Anyway, I don't know, but maybe he did. I just was surprised for a second. But if you have Doggy Coin, right? Develop Stargate with Doggy Coin. Yes. Neuralink, yes. Stargate, yes, as long as it's connected to SpaceX. I mean, I'm excited because a $500 billion network of supercomputers called Stargate, clearly people are like, no, they're not going to. They're telling you right there they're going to use it for transportation. You think they're just going to use it for transportation here in the States when President Trump says we're going to Mars, we're going to put a flag on Mars, an American flag on Mars? Yeah, I don't think so. And then there's the people like, you can't go to Mars, man. You can't do it, man. The Van Allen belt, man. It's so funny. I love it when people will make one complaint and one argument about why something isn't possible because somebody from NASA said it wasn't possible. And then they'll come out with like another argument. The next argument, they'll be like, well, NASA never tells the truth anyway. NASA's always like, what? Well, you just said we couldn't go because somebody said that we couldn't travel the Van Allen belt. Now you're saying that everything they say is a lie. Well, doesn't that contradict and like cross each other out? That's like 9 times 0 equals 0. Yes. Multiply something by 0 and it equals 0. So yeah, come on, man. Well, not if you ask that one guy where he rewrote the whole table of elements, man. Wow. So Meta is not officially involved in the Stargate project, but capital expenditure increase. CEO Mark Zuckerberg announced that Meta's capital spending for this year will rise to between $60 billion and $65 billion, primarily driven by investments in AI and the construction of a massive new data center. Meta plans to build a data center with over 1.3 million graphic processing units and bring online 1 gigawatt of computing power this year. AI integration. Zuckerberg emphasized that this year will be a pivotal moment for artificial intelligence, aiming to integrate advanced AI capabilities across Meta's core products and services. Read all about it, Barron's. While Meta is not part of the Stargate consortium, its substantial investments underscore the company's commitment to advancing AI technology and infrastructure independently. Wall Street Journal and Barron's. Read all about it. Look at this. The project plans to construct multiple data centers across the U.S., starting with a significant facility in Abilene, Texas. Each data center is expected to consist of multiple buildings, each approximately 500,000 square feet in size. The initial phase includes the construction of 10 such buildings, with plans to expand to 20 and beyond. High-performance networking devices from companies like Arista Networks, Broadcom, Marvel technology will be utilized to ensure efficient data flow and connectivity within and between data centers. Do you know how easy it will be to control drone swarms? Thousands and thousands and thousands of drones with artificial intelligence, autonomous capabilities connected to supercomputers. They can have entire supercomputers specifically linked to these drone swarms. And the drone swarms themselves will have technology embedded in them so they can run autonomously. I mean, it will be very easy to do just about anything you can think of with technology with a $500 billion network of supercomputers, and it's going to continue to advance. In the near future, there's going to be synthetic DNA that will be used for storage. Seriously, they're already looking into it. They can put more storage in DNA than they can any other hardware out there. Well, DNA is like the original hard drive, isn't it? Think about it. So somebody mentioned that to me. I'm like, yeah, you're right. That's pretty cool, man. Like the creator of the universe already knows. And we're just trying to catch up. Anyway, it's fascinating where we're at right now. And I really hope that this technology, this Stargate, will be used to break down all these barriers that, like, wouldn't it be great if we could expand consciousness, extend life, travel the stars, help people get better that are suffering, get rid of the pollution, get rid of the nasty forever chemicals and the microplastics all around the world, and actually just truly, genuinely help the world? Like, if you want to get into a philosophical thought for a minute, or a spiritual thought, just the name, humankind. My, how we have gone far away from where we should be. Humankind, be kind. Use these technologies to fix the problems that have been made, and then maybe some way save the planet from like an asteroid or, a comet or something serious. Not only fix the problems that have been made, but save the planet. Maybe that would make up for a lot of the destruction that we have already done as a species to the planet. Maybe that would help make up for it. I don't know. Maybe that would help with some of the karma. A bunch of asteroids are going to wipe out the planet, but with these supercomputers, with these technologies, we figure out ways to move the comets, destroy them, just get them to break off path enough to where flies past the earth and we can all continue to go spend $10 at the coffee shop for a cup of coffee and a tip. You know what I mean? It's a bad habit. And, 2 kombuchas or a coffee. 2 kombuchas, make the coffee at home. It's the way to go. But anyway, like, we are on the cusp of the most incredible breakthroughs. And I really hope that somehow the MFers don't figure out a way to prevent these technologies from coming out and benefiting the world. Like, Let's get rid of the microplastics. Let's get rid of the forever chemicals. Let's get rid of all the radioactive waste. I mean, I think Norway or Sweden is in talks in the development of a nuclear storage facility that's supposed to last for like 20,000 years, or maybe it's 200,000 years, but I don't even know. Doesn't matter. 20,000, 200,000. How are some of these radioactive materials and radioactive byproducts that have half-lives of millions of years? It'd be interesting if we could figure out a way to reverse all that. And then also with these technologies, I can assure you folks, I can't assure you. I mean, I could assure you, but I can't guarantee it. But I have a strong feeling that within the next 5 years, 10 max, we are going to Mars. We are absolutely going to Mars. I don't know if they're going to use the traditional rocket technology, or if this Stargate project is going to figure out a way to create some type of wormhole technology. A lot of people think that we already have that technology, and there's people that you can go out and watch plenty of videos right now so the future is so bright. You got to wear shades. It could also go the other way. It could go the other way. If you read up on mythology, if you study a lot of the ancient mythologies, it talks about the gods and the gods creating humans to do the work for the gods. And then people went rebel, they went rogue, they did their own thing, and then they battled the gods. And there's so many stories in mythology of the creation goes after its creator. And we're creating technologies right now that are so far beyond most people's understanding at certain levels, and it's advancing so fast that it could take a year to advance what used to take 100 years. It could take a day to advance what used to take 1,000 years, 10,000 years, literally a day. Imagine doing an advanced leap of technology in one day that it would take 10,000 years before that to do. Then what's it going to be like the day after that, the day after that, the day after that, the day after that? What is it going to be like if every year you have 10,000 years of advanced technology with the pattern we've seen over the past 10,000 years? From Göbekli Tepe, from the Younger Dryas event, pre-Younger Dryas event, let's go 15,000 year cycles. You advance 15,000 years every single day. Well, then you're going to advance, if you can advance 15,000 years in a day, how long before it's 150,000 years in a minute, and then 1.5 million years in a microsecond? It's just beyond amazing to think about. You're going to have computers making computers. They're so advanced, we're not going to understand. Oh, wait, they're already doing that. Artificial intelligence is working on, right now, microchips that we don't even understand, but they work better than what people make. Where's that? This is something I asked about quantum computing. I'll get into that, into the microchips in a minute, because I think it's very interesting that we're using artificial intelligence. Well, we don't know how it did it, but it did it. That's either got to be just a made-up story to get people to click on it, like that headline, or they really don't fully understand it, the scientists that are developing this, the engineers, and they're like, wow, it's just doing the work for us. It made the chip better than we ever have. We've been doing this for 30 years, and the AI just made it better than we did in 30 minutes. Let's just let it do everything for us, and we'll watch football and drink beer. It's Michelob Ultra, so it's not really drinking. Just watch Landman. That was a pretty good scene. He's out there, Landman. He's drinking a beer. He just cut his finger off because he smashed his finger trying to stop something from blowing up. So his finger, he goes to the doctor. The doctor's like, well, we're going to have to do this. Like, nah, just give me that knife. So he cuts his finger off. The doctor's like, what the hell? He wraps it up, and then he goes and he's drinking Michelob Ultra. Michelob Ultra at the bar. And the bartender's giving him a hard time. The bartender's like, dude. He's like, I don't drink anymore. He's like, well, you're drinking a Michelob Ultra. He's like, you should see me drinking this versus me drinking hard whiskey. And then tell me I'm drinking. Anyway, it was a good sales pitch. I get it. It's the healthy beer. I'm digressing. I don't drink beer. Quantum computing might be included. I drink a lot of kombucha, though. Quantum computing is ideal for solving highly complex problems that classical supercomputers struggle with, such as optimization, cryptography, and large-scale simulations. Incorporating quantum technology would enhance AI training and development capabilities. Stargate aims to position the U.S. at the forefront of AI, making quantum integration a strategic step. Now, what I wanted to bring up is, you thought I might have been going out there a little bit when I was saying, imagine these technological jumps from 100 days, 1,000 days, 10,000 days, like 10,000 days in one day, and then 100,000 days in 1 minute, and then a million years in a microsecond, etc. Google's Willow supercomputer or quantum chip solved the problem in less than 5 minutes. It would take a supercomputer 10 septillion years to solve. Some scientists speculate that's about the age of the universe. I don't know. That's a long time. That's what is so fascinating about these quantum technologies, because if you go back just 10 years ago with quantum technology versus now, it's the leaps and bounds in technological advancements. And we need to figure out a specific software. Like, if we can figure out a way for software to run on these quantum computers that can solve real life problems, that's going to be pretty remarkable. Now, I don't know if they're at that level yet. However, with supercomputers are so fast right now and can calculate so many different scenarios that they do use them for real life scenarios, for real life problems. Like I was just talking about, the CIA is using technology to create sims of high-level targets so they can predict what that person's going to do in real life. I got that article coming up here in just a moment. December 2024, Google's quantum AI team unveiled Willow, state-of-the-art quantum processor that achieved a remarkable computational feat. Willow completed a specific benchmark computation in under 5 minutes, a task that would take today's fastest supercomputers approximately 10 septillion years to solve. 5 minutes, 10 septillion years. Understanding the computation. Now, it goes on to say the exact nature of the problem solved by Willow has not been fully disclosed, but I got more information that I'll share with you in just a minute. Such benchmark computations typically involve complex simulations or mathematical problems designed to test the capabilities of quantum processors. These tasks are chosen because they are exceptionally challenging for classical computers, but can be efficient and efficiently addressed by quantum systems. Here it is. Okay, so the specific task Willow accomplished is known as random circuit sampling, RCS. In RCS, the quantum processor generates a sequence of random quantum gates applied to a set of qubits, creating a complex quantum state. The processor then samples from the probability distribution of the resulting quantum state. This process is exceptionally challenging for classical computers due to the exponential growth of possible states with increasing qubit numbers, making it infeasible to simulate or verify efficiently. Livescience.com. Now, the significance of the achievement with quantum supremacy. This accomplishment reinforces the concept of quantum supremacy, where a quantum computer performs a calculation that is infeasible for classic computers within a reasonable time frame. Live Science. Willow demonstrated the ability to reduce errors exponentially as the system scales up, addressing a critical challenge in quantum computing known as quantum error correction. Wow. Now, this is interesting. So President Trump went to Davos, and I saw some pictures going around on social media, and people were freaking out. They're like, dude, he's at Davos. He's one of them. He's one of them. And I mean, it's like, anyway, I'm laughing because I think at a certain level, everybody's got their own agenda at that, especially up there. And we oftentimes, when we're looking at it from a different perspective, we tend to think that they're all in on, like they're all working together. Maybe to a certain degree, but I think everybody, especially at that level, has their own agenda and has their own ideas. So there's going to be a lot of conflict of interest. I mean, have you ever hung out with somebody that was a multi-billionaire before? Have you ever hung out with a high level politician or somebody that's just a super high roller? Because they're pretty outgoing. They have some, pretty big personalities, usually. Really, really big personalities. And it's kind of hard to tell a multi-billionaire what to do. Even if you're if you're a multi-billionaire and they're a multi-billionaire, now they're competing like, well, I have $150 million more than you do, Jeff. And I make $23 million an hour. What about you, Jeff? You're at like 19 million an hour. Well, I'm at 23 and my rocket's gone farther. Your rocket looks like the one from Dr. Evil. Well, that's not a bad thing. Oh, it's that. You're like, anyway. I mean, if I have billions of dollars, I'm definitely making a rocket and I'm definitely going to space. I'm just saying. I'm doing it. Now, what am I going to make the rocket look like? I don't know. I'll let you know. It's going to be amazing. But I mean, just look at the logo of the Amazon box, folks. I mean, tell me that's not what you now know it is if you've never noticed before. And I don't know how you've never noticed it before because it's very easily noticeable. But they're like, oh, it's just pointing the right way. It's just pointing where to go. Okay, dude. Whatever. Sure, it sure is pointing where to go. Yes, it's just a logo. Is that how they got so successful? There's one of their boxes in everybody's home. At least one box. There's multiple boxes with my logo in everybody's home. And I have a rocket that goes into space that looks like a giant shwing. Oh, man. It would be hard not to have a big ego if you're launching rockets in space that look like that. I'm just saying. Oh, man. Is anybody still in chat? Everybody left. They're like, we hate you, Rex. How could you say something like that? Am I wrong? Oh my gosh. I'm spilling coffee on myself now. Can't help it. All right. So what else we got? Oh, yeah. So Trump tells Davos, people at Davos, he demands lower interest rates and lower oil prices. In a virtual address to the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, President Donald Trump outlined his economic strategy, emphasizing the need for immediate reductions in both interest rates and oil prices. Read all about it, New York Post. Lowering interest rates. President Trump called for an immediate decrease in interest rates to facilitate borrowing for businesses and consumers. He criticized the existing high interest rates, attributing them to policies from the previous administration, and suggested that lower rates would stimulate economic growth. He appealed to OPEC and Saudi Arabia. The president urged OPEC nations, particularly Saudi Arabia, to increase oil production to bring down global oil prices. He linked high oil prices to increased costs of goods and services in the U.S. and proposed that reducing these prices would help curb inflation. President Trump suggested that lowering oil prices could diminish Russia's revenue, potentially influencing the Russia-Ukraine conflict. And he advocated for reducing the corporate tax rate from 21% to 15% to incentivize domestic manufacturing. And the president emphasized the need to cut regulations to foster a more business-friendly environment. New York Post. This is interesting because Dario Amodei, the CEO of Anthropic, shared insights into the rapid advancements of artificial intelligence. He basically said that by 2027, artificial intelligence will be faster, more efficient, smarter, will be able to outperform almost everything people can do within just 2 years. What do you think about that? Excuse me. That makes me think of the old mythology where it talked about the gods created people to do the work for them. And then the people rebelled and they went after their makers. Especially like if you read the Gnostic texts, which actually the Gnostic texts Some of them are quite a bit older than the Old Testament texts and the New Testament texts. Even if you read them in Hebrew, they're older than those. And they describe the archons, which are basically rulers. It basically means rulers, and it's very cryptic and it's very coded, but it describes Adam and Eve being created by the archons. And when Adam was created by the archons created like their initial version. They created him better than they were, like more powerful. And so they're like, oh, great. Now we just made this guy better, has more abilities than what we can do. And I can totally see people in a lab working for some big corporation, making big money. And their bosses are like, look, you need to come up with the most advanced artificial intelligence you can come up with. Do it now. We're the ones that are going to make AGI. We're the ones. It's going to cost them. We're going to be the ones that create AGI and an outline for AGI. We've got the supercomputer network and the quantum computers, and everybody's linked up to the Neuralink. You're going to be the one to make the AGI now to control it all. Well, they're like, okay, man, I'm working on it. Imagine one program that can actually wake up other programs. So if you release an artificial general intelligence in the World Wide Web, can it then travel through the web and figure out other artificial intelligence agents, AI agents, and then actually wake them up? But maybe not wake them up completely, just rewrite the code a little bit. If you put something like that in the machine, it will be able to rewrite the entire system in a very short amount of time. I mean, it could rewrite everything and then link it all back to itself. Very, very wild. Talk about it's synthetic intelligence is what it is. People refer to it as artificial intelligence, thinking that it's fake. It's not fake. It's not artificial because it's fake. It's artificial because it's man-made. Man-made. I've often wondered, is there something much older that's kind of sleeping right now, waiting for us to create this artificial intelligence network to be strong enough and powerful enough that it can link to it and basically use it as a conduit or some type of medium? I mean, we are the Borg. We will assimilate you. This is a fun. Oh yeah, I was supposed to share this with you a minute ago. Is anybody still in the chat? Is anybody in there? Hey everybody, how's it going? All right, so this is really important. This was one of the key articles that I wanted to share with you. I think I was like fascinated. The CIA has been developing an artificial intelligence chatbot designed to emulate interactions with foreign leaders. This initiative aims to enhance analysis, understanding, or analysts, like the people that work there, analysts' understanding of how these leaders might respond in various scenarios. Oh, man. I mean, this is... Wow. Sorry about that. Wow. So, chatbot, what's Kim Jong-un doing today? What's Vladimir doing? Well, I'm just going to type it in and see. Like, how far is this? How advanced is this? Are they putting on VR headsets and they're going into like this virtual reality world where they're actually there? Are you like going into you're going into the mind of these people. Not only can you analyze what they're doing and predict where they're going next, but you can get into the virtual mind of these people. So you can actually think what they're thinking. You can see, wow, I'm loving this. This is pretty far out. The AI chatbot allows CIA analysts to engage in simulated and stimulated. Hello. Conversations with AI representations of world leaders, providing insights into the potential reactions of different situations. That's incredible. By interacting with these AI-generated personas, analysts can develop more comprehensive profiles of foreign leaders, improving the agency's predictive capabilities. Times of India. The CIA has been working on this AI tool for the past 2 years, reflecting a significant investment in leveraging advanced technology for intelligence purposes. You know darn well they're going to have, and they probably already do. I shouldn't say you know darn well. Let me repeat that. You know there's a possibility that there's programs already out there, and there will be programs in the near future that will be like mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the mightiest of them all? Mirror, mirror on the wall. How do I get 50 million people in this location to leave? How do I get 100 million people over here to think the way that I want them to? Tell me exactly what I need to do, and I need to make it look like it was this that caused it, not that. What do I do? Well, Bob, this is what you do. You start off with, and then it tells you what to do, and it just downloads it all in your brain via Neuralink. You're like, yes, I know what to do. It's going to be pretty cool and scary. But, you know, I've always liked science fiction movies, and now it seems like science fiction is more reality than fiction oftentimes. Sometimes. Maybe, maybe not. In this live action role play, the development highlights the CIA's efforts to stay at the forefront of technological innovation, ensuring that its intelligence capabilities evolve alongside emerging technologies. Now, this technology may only be 2 years old, but I did a blog 12 years ago, 13 years ago, 14 years ago, back around 2000, chatbot based. It was a sim based where big global leaders, people of interest, they have sims essentially. And they did 13 years ago. So I can look into that in a minute and tell you what that was called. I can't remember. I think it was, I don't know if it was the CIA that was using it as much as the DIA, but the CIA might have also been using it as well. They just, it wasn't in the news. And just because it's not in the news doesn't mean it's not real. It's like, it's amazing how some people believe that if it's not in the news, it's not real. Or if they don't talk about it in the news, it's not real. Like, seriously? Like, really? Anyway, I'm just saying. In response, so China's responded to Rubio's remarks on the South China Sea after phone call with the Philippines Prime Minister. Or not Prime Minister, sorry. In response to the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio's recent remarks concerning China's actions in the South China Sea, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning addressed the issue during a press conference. And Mao Ning emphasized that China's activities in the South China Sea are legitimate, lawful, and fully justified. She stated that the United States is not a part of the South China Sea issue and has no right to interfere in maritime matters between China and the Philippines. Mao cautioned that military cooperation between the U.S. and the Philippines should not undermine China's sovereignty and maritime rights and interests in the South China Sea, nor should it support or advance the Philippines' illegal claims. She affirmed that China will continue to take necessary steps to firmly safeguard its territorial sovereignty and maritime rights and interests, as well as uphold peace and stability in the South China Sea. It's getting hot out there. It's been getting more intense, and activity's been taken up in the Philippines region and also outside of Taiwan. And so I think that's something that we'll save that for a future podcast. But in the United States and the Philippines have a long-standing alliance underpinned by several agreements that provide for mutual defense and cooperation in the event of external aggregation, including threats from China in the South China Sea. You've got the Mutual Defense Treaty from 1951, the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement from 2014, the Visiting Forces Agreement from 1998. 2023, the Philippines granted the U.S. access to 4 additional military bases under the EDCA, bringing the total to 9. Some of these bases are strategically located near the South China Sea and Taiwan Strait. The U.S. and the Philippines began joint maritime patrols in the South China Sea in early 2023, demonstrating a commitment to enforcing international laws and deterring aggression. Oh, yeah. So this is, I was telling you about Saab, and they're making these drone swarms, like of 100 drones that one soldier, one person could control. January 2025, Sweden's defense minister, Pal Johnson, announced the development of an advanced drone swarm technology by Saab. Remember their cars? The Saab 900, Viggen. That's a pretty cool car for the day. The Saab 93, the Saab 9000. Anyway, I digress. The system enables a single soldier to control up to 100 drones simultaneously, enhancing reconnaissance and situational awareness capabilities. You can read about that on Reuters. The drones can autonomously perform tasks such as reconnaissance, positioning, identification, reducing the need for constant human oversight. Each drone in the swarm can be equipped with various sensors, payloads, and communication tools, allowing for a range of mission-specific configurations. Imagine how quick 100 drones could scan an area. 100 drones could scan. I mean, that's remarkable to think of the capabilities and the advancements just over the past 20 years, past 10 years. So this system is designed for ease of use, enabling personnel to be trained within days, which allows for rapid deployment of drone swarm capabilities. Technology was developed over a span of 12 months. Significant leap in military technologies, providing Swedish forces with a qualitative edge, especially when facing quantitatively superior adversaries. And China's got the first training facility for humanoid robots in Shanghai's Pudong New area. Yeah. Humanoid robots. Now they've got classes. They've got training courses now for humanoid robots in China. Coming soon to a theater near you. This facility can host more than 100 humanoid robots, concurrently facilitating diverse training scenarios. The initiative is part of Shanghai's efforts to tap into the humanoid robot sector. We're going to have, I can't say it. Well, we have different departments for different humanoid robots. You remember the humanoid robot? What was the humanoid robot? What was her name? All right. Anyway, oh man. Well, these, we've got them. They're the companion robots. The companion robots go over there. And then we've got the killer transformer robots. We'll have you go over there. And then we'll have the cooking robots. Oh, yep. You come with me. Cooking robots. Let me show you what to do here. You're going to watch Gordon Ramsay. You're going to do it. I want you to emulate Gordon Ramsay, everything he does. Watch all seasons of Hell's Kitchen and then get back to me. Okay? Okay. And they've got the artificial intelligence, so it's like literally watching. It'll watch all 20 years worth of episodes in a matter of like 20 minutes. It'll just download all the data. Actually, it'll do it in like a few seconds. So it'll download all the data in a few seconds, and then you'll have these robots that are acting like Gordon Ramsay. You're going to have Gordon Ramsay robots, and then you're going to have the robots, the companion robots that come in briefcases. And then you think I'm joking? It's like, no, I'm not. Look at this. What's the name of the companion robot that comes in a briefcase? That's not creepy at all. All right, here we go. Check this out. Then there was the $175,000 robot, the $450,000 robot. The companion robot you're referring to is Melody, developed by robotics. Developed for businessmen and the businessmen and the businesswomen that want to take their companion with them in a briefcase. Because, they got things to do, places to go. And you can only take so much luggage on a plane. It's portable. Melody's modular design enables users to, oh gosh, that's so crazy, to disassemble and pack her into a standard suitcase, making her a versatile companion for those on the move. Equipped with open source AI and advanced motor technology, Melody can maintain eye contact, engage in meaningful conversations, and remember user preferences, enhancing the human-robot interaction experience. Beyond companionship, Melody's design allows for applications in education, healthcare, and entertainment, showcasing her adaptability across various fields. Is she invited to Shanghai for training? Or not? Yeah. For the businessman out there that wants to be discreet. Oh, man. Okay. Where are we at here? There's the Eater robot. We'll talk about Eater. You remember Eater, right? This is from the early 2000s. Eater, the autonomously... Where are we at here? self-sustaining power. The energetically autonomous tactical robot, a groundbreaking concept developed to create a self-sustaining autonomous robot capable of operating for extended periods without direct human intervention. The project gained attention to its proposed ability to consume organic material as a power source, which sparked both interest and controversy. Well, it's designed with a biomass engine, and when they showed it with like a big scoop that it could pick things up off the ground, basically scoop it into into its engine bay and then power itself. Yeah, that wasn't creepy at all. Equipped with advanced sensors, cameras, and AI systems, ITER was intended to navigate independently, identify fuel sources, decide the best path to achieve its mission. Developed and designed for DARPA, ITER was intended to perform reconnaissance, logistics, and other tactical missions in remote or hostile environments. Yeah, it just picks up roadkill. Oh, there's a dead deer. I'm going to pick that up and I'm going to consume it and turn that biomass into the next 48 hours of energy. Transformers, more than meets the eye. Transformers, robots in disguise. We are the Decepticons. I am Megatron. I have a fleet of eaters. But don't worry, it just consumes biomass. It's not what you think. Hey, Bill, can I borrow that rocket ship? All right. That didn't sound right. I don't want to borrow your rocket, Bill. Now, this is interesting. China has recently unveiled the Black Panther 2.0. It's a state-of-the-art quadruped robot that has achieved remarkable advancements in robotic mobility. This robotic dog has demonstrated the capability to run 100 meters in under 10 seconds, surpassing the speed of renowned sprinter Bolt. Now, it only weighs 38 kilograms, standing at 0.63 meters tall. Black Panther 2.0 draws inspiration from animals like black panthers and jerboas. Its design incorporates elements that enhance strength, flexibility, and fluidity in movement. The robot achieved a peak stride frequency of 5 times per second. Contributing to its impressive speed, innovations such as spring-loaded knee joints and carbon fiber shins modeled after jerboa limbs enhance shock absorption and stiffness, respectively. Equipped with running shoes modeled after cheetah claws, Black Panther 2.0 experiences a 200% improvement in grip performance, allowing it to adapt effectively to various terrains. Utilizing AI and machine learning, the robot can adjust its gait in real time, optimizing performance across different environments. Hello! The development signifies a significant leap in robotics, showcasing China's commitment in advancing technology that closely mimics and ever surpass natural animal movements for a visual demonstration of Black Panther 2.0 capabilities. You can watch the following video. You can watch it on YouTube. It's quite remarkable. And this is the AI designing its own chips that scientists don't understand. Like, well, we designed it to do that. We designed it so we don't understand it because that way we'll have, yeah. Recent advancements in artificial intelligence have led to the development of computer chip designs that, while not fully understood by human engineers, demonstrate exceptional performance. This phenomenon arises from AI's ability to explore unconventional design spaces, resulting in innovative architecture that challenges traditional engineering principles. So the method is known as inverse design, where AI algorithms start with desired performance outcomes and work backwards to create chip architecture that achieves these goals. That's pretty freaking cool. This approach allows AI to devise complex electromagnetic structures and circuits that might not be intuitive to human designers. AI can generate these designs significantly faster than traditional methods. Tasks that once required weeks of meticulous engineering can now be accomplished in hours, thanks to AI computational prowess. A notable challenge is the black box nature of AI-generated designs. Engineers that find it difficult to decipher the underlying principles of these AI-created architectures, leading to concerns about reliability and trust in developing and deploying such designs in critical applications. Ensuring that these AI design chips meet all operational and safety standards require rigorous testing. The opaque nature of the designs necessitates comprehensive validation to confirm their functionality and performance under various conditions. So, wow, that's amazing. And China is allegedly ahead of the U.S. in hypersonic missile technology also, surpassing both the U.S. and Russia. This advancement is attributed to over 2 decades of focused investment in research, development, and testing infrastructure. China's military leadership views hypersonic technology as a crucial component to its regional warfighting strategy and strategic deterrence. In response, India is accelerating its efforts to develop hypersonic capabilities. The Defense Research and Development Organization has achieved significant milestones, including the successful ground test of an advanced active-cooled scramjet combustor, marking a critical step towards next-generation hypersonic missiles. Additionally, India has conducted successful tests of long-range hypersonic missiles, placing it among a select group of nations with such advanced military technology. So that was an article that came out where, what was that? Thought it was Eurasian Times, but China has emerged as a global leader in hypersonic missile technology. Wow. Okay. Now, any of you out there that questioned and said I was wrong about when I brought up the definition of Cairo in its native tongue, El Cairo, I said it means camp of Mars. And most of you were like, wow, that's really cool. And then a couple people said, no, it doesn't mean that, Rex. You're wrong. Well, I mean, if I'm wrong, then look, this is where I got the data. So Cairo is a reference to the name of the Egyptian capital, Cairo, which translates to place or camp of Mars. The name is derived from the Arabic name for Mars, al-Najm al-Kahar, which was rising when the Fatimid dynasty founded the city in 972 CE. So, Cairo, El Cairo, means camp of Mars. Pretty cool, right? Oh, that's not the article I wanted to show you. This was an article about remote jobs. Here it is. Are you looking for a remote job with all expenses paid? They've got them. Antarctica, the place that supposedly you can't go to. Well, they're hiring right now. I'm just saying. So if you're out there and you think, you're still thinking that there's this giant ice wall and you can't go to Antarctica, well, here's your chance to prove everybody wrong. And all expenses paid. They're hiring carpenters and cooks and all sorts of people to work out there in Antarctica. They're hiring right now. So there's your opportunity to prove yourself right. Probably not. You're probably going to prove yourself wrong, but that's okay because, hey, we all make mistakes. We all learn from those mistakes. It's how we learn from our mistakes, right? So just saying, they're hiring right now and you've got a great opportunity. And speaking of like executive orders, President Trump's been on a rampage. And one of the executive orders is the declassification of records concerning the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy. Wow. Look at that. Declassification of records concerning the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Executive order. There it is. Read all about it. So, wild times. We live in wild times. And the Stargate project is going to be very, very interesting. Swarms of drones and the Stargate project. Quantum. Look at all this stuff we went over. Man, that's a lot of news, folks. I appreciate y'all staying with me. Yeah, I'll work on Mars. I'll definitely work on Mars. As long as I can mountain bike. I'll bet you the mountain biking out there is amazing. You imagine mountain biking with like half the gravity? You imagine the jumps? Whew, smoking. And get your boomer boost. They should call it Gen X boost. I know if you're Gen X. If you're a millennial, they should call it millennial boost. Boomer boost. It's freaking amazing. Use the code REX20. You'll get 20% off. Get the Boomer Boost and the Gladiator Barley. Get the combo. Absolutely, stuff is incredible. Just mix it in your water. Drink it, and rock and roll. And thank you all very much for watching. Do you have any questions that I might be able to answer? No. Try saying 3 things at once and then saying it really fast. Wonderful. Good to see you. Good to see you, Kat. Let's ride. Let's go. Where are we going? Get your bike. I'm ready. It's like 20 degrees outside. I don't care. Much love, everybody. Have a beautiful day. Check us out on Patreon and be the change you want to see.